Missile defense remains one of the most technically demanding areas of modern warfare, often likened to hitting a bullet with another bullet because of the extraordinary speeds, altitudes, and precision required to successfully intercept an incoming missile. Until now, the development of U.S. missile interceptors has largely been concentrated among a relatively small number of established defense contractors. That landscape, however, is beginning to change as the U.S. military seeks to introduce more affordable systems and expand the industrial base supporting missile defense. The U.S. Missile Defense Agency, MDA, has awarded New Mexico-based X-Bow Systems an $11 million Phase 2 contract to develop and flight test the X-Bow Low-Cost Interceptor. The effort is being pursued under the Rapid Response Small Launcher Technology Initiative, which is intended to accelerate the development of affordable, high-speed interceptors capable of addressing an evolving range of threats, including ballistic, hypersonic, and cruise missiles. The development represents an important step toward diversifying the U.S. missile defense industrial base while pursuing lower-cost interceptor technologies. This is such a crucial development, a detailed examination is needed. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted and fastest VPN brand that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte. NordVPN provides a 256-bit encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy and also enables you to access contents that are blocked based on geolocation. Its threat protection system helps you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. NordVPN application is available for all the major platforms as well as browsers. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive saving by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. To defend U.S. forces, overseas bases, and allied partners, Washington relies on a layered air and missile defense architecture combining land and sea-based capabilities. Ground systems include Patriot and THAAD, while naval forces employ the Aegis combat system aboard Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and Ticonderoga-class cruisers. This architecture incorporates a broad range of interceptors, including Patriot PAC-2, PAC-3, and PAC-3 MSE, THAAD interceptors, and standard missile variants such as SM-2, SM-3, and SM-6. The financial cost of individual interceptors is pretty high. A PAC-3 MSE interceptor costs approximately $4 to $5 million, while a THAAD interceptor can cost roughly $12 to $15 million. The SM-6 is also estimated at approximately $9 to $10 million per missile. Sustained missile defense operations can therefore consume billions of dollars in interceptors, particularly when large salvos require multiple defensive engagements. Cost, however, is only part of the challenge. Production capacity and manufacturing timelines represent equally significant constraints. Interceptors are highly sophisticated systems involving advanced sensors, propulsion, guidance, control systems, and specialized components. Expanding production and rapidly replacing weapons expended in combat is difficult. The extensive use of these systems during the 2026 conflict with Iran highlighted this. Interceptor inventories can be depleted far faster than they can be replenished. Previous combat operations had already placed pressure on U.S. stocks, and sustained expenditure during the conflict raised concerns that the United States could emerge with significantly reduced reserves. This becomes particularly important if Washington must simultaneously prepare for a major contingency in the Indo-Pacific. This creates a fundamental challenge for the United States, maintaining sufficient interceptor inventories to sustain prolonged defensive operations. The Missile Defense Agency is seeking technologies capable of reducing the cost of intercepting ballistic, hypersonic, and cruise missile threats. Its objective is ambitious: develop interceptor technologies capable of bringing the cost per round below $750,000. X-Bow Systems is pursuing an integrated approach to achieve that goal. The company plans to develop the interceptor while also producing its own solid rocket motor. Solid rocket motors are fundamental to many U.S. missiles and interceptors, yet their production has historically relied on a relatively limited number of specialized suppliers. This can create significant challenges when demand rises rapidly. Increasing motor production requires specialized manufacturing infrastructure, equipment, materials, and technical expertise, meaning capacity cannot simply be expanded by adding another conventional production line. X-Bow's vertically integrated model is intended to reduce some of these dependencies by bringing interceptor development, solid rocket motor production, and flight testing under the company's control. Traditionally, solid rocket motor manufacturing has relied on complex, time-intensive chemical processes and a relatively small number of established defense contractors. X-Bow is pursuing an alternative approach, using advanced additive manufacturing and automated production techniques to manufacture solid rocket motors more rapidly and at lower cost. This could allow the company to accelerate development and production while giving engineers greater flexibility to modify propulsion systems without depending on an external motor supplier. The approach is already reflected in another X-Bow interceptor, known as Buckler. The company recently introduced the system as a low-cost interceptor designed to counter Group 3 unmanned aircraft. According to X-Bow, Buckler is capable of engaging these targets at supersonic speeds and has already completed flight testing. The company states that the system costs less than $100,000 per interceptor. X-Bow manufactures Buckler's airframe, solid rocket motor, and propellant internally, providing greater control over both production costs and manufacturing capacity. The company also employs fixed and deployable manufacturing systems across its various programs. These capabilities could become particularly valuable if the Pentagon seeks to rapidly expand interceptor production. By controlling critical elements of the manufacturing process internally, X-Bow aims to create a more scalable production model while reducing dependence on constrained suppliers. Founder and CEO Jason Hundley stated that America's existing supplier base cannot meet growing demand. Hundley said, "America can't outproduce today's threats with yesterday's supplier base." From a defense procurement perspective, the contract for X-Bow addresses a critical vulnerability in the U.S. defense industrial base: the limited and highly concentrated capacity for producing solid rocket motors. Expanding the supplier base with non-traditional defense companies could help acquisition authorities reduce interceptor costs, increase domestic production capacity, and accelerate the replenishment of depleted missile inventories. From a military strategy perspective, low-cost interceptors could help address the growing cost imbalance in modern air defense. Adversaries are increasingly employing large numbers of ballistic missiles, high-speed drones, and other advanced threats to overwhelm defensive networks through saturation. Using multi-million-dollar interceptors against high-volume attacks can rapidly deplete defensive magazines and undermine the sustainability of air defense operations. Mass-producing affordable, high-performance interceptors would provide greater magazine depth, allowing defensive units to engage sustained salvos while reserving more capable and expensive interceptors for complex or high-priority threats. Geopolitically, expanding the availability of affordable missile defenses could strengthen deterrence in strategically important regions, such as the Indo-Pacific and Middle East. Ultimately, funding X-Bow's low-cost interceptor program represents an effort to address both sides of the missile defense equation: interceptor numbers and interceptor affordability. While every threat can't be handled by a single interceptor, and sophisticated and expensive weapon will be required in many cases, there is no doubt that cheaper interceptors will have a big role to play in future conflicts.